and they're basically a sure thing with their free picks. A player just has to get higher than 0.5 for that stat pick to win. All new users get a free pick. So download the app, sign up with promo code STAR, and deposit now to get up to $1,000 in bonus cash instantly. Promo code STAR. Must be 18 or over, present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org.
San Antonio's Sports Star. San Antonio's Sports Center.
Good news for DeMarvion Overshown, relatively speaking. Jordan Schultz of Fox reports there was no nerve damage in his knee, and the most ideal situation is he would start the 2025 season on the PUP list, and 9 to 10 month rehab could be activated by mid-season. Texans lost safety Jalen Petrie for the season as he'll go under season-ending surgery on his partially torn pec.
This is Extra Innings with Pleasure.
Truth is, I am Iron Man.
Rock and roll! The Texans win it!
You've been called the Da Vinci of our time. What do you say to that?
Absolutely ridiculous. I don't paint.
That ball is history. A walk-off home run.
And it's going to be legendary.
James Pledger wraps your day with insight, opinion, plenty of sarcasm, and of course, your calls. He'll even pour a beer out the door for his favorite story of the day. This is Extra Innings with Pledger. Now, here's Pledge.
What's up, Danger? Can't stop me now.
Welcome into Extra Innings with Pleasure right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. I am James Pledger. Thank you for joining me, however you may be joining, whether that's on 94.1 on your FM dial, sasportstar.com. If you're listening via our AA Best Bail Bonds audio player, or if you're watching on YouTube, that's right, we have all of our shows broadcasting live on YouTube. Just go there, search SA Sports Star. Go ahead, like, subscribe. Be sure to set yourself up for notifications. Fred Records in our YouTube live chat, which you can comment along with the show there. Says long time no show. I know. You know, Cowboys had a Monday night game, and then Cowboys Hour last night live. Just didn't have an opportunity this week. So it's good to get back into the saddle, that's for sure. And in doing so, I got things for you, because during the show today, I'm going to be giving away a free advanced screening for you to go check out Mufasa. It is going to be a 7 o'clock early screening Monday, this coming Monday at River Center 11, the River Center Mall location. If you want to go see the new Disney Mufasa coming up, be sure to keep it locked in right here to San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. I will give those away here coming up shortly, but huge news today. Bill Belichick actually taking the UNC job, which I feel like everybody thought that was a leverage play to get the NFL interested talking about him. It turned out to be real, and he is finalizing a deal with North Carolina to become their head coach. 3 years, $30 million. Very, very interesting knowing how he ran the NFL. He was kind of cutthroat. He would cut a player. He would, trade a player at the drop of a hat. Of course, he had his guys, his Brewskis, his Vrabels, the people that, were on his inner circle, it seems. But for the most part, Ty Law's talked about it. Asante Samuel, when he feels your value is peaked, he moved on. And he wants to treat the North Carolina program like an NFL program and move things forward. And that's going to be very interesting to see how that really plays out here at the next level. I'm intrigued, to say the least, because a lot of coaches, Jeff Traylor, Steve Sarkisian, they talk about relationships, players. You're building not just with the player, but with the families as well. And does does Bill Belichick have 24/7 recruiting in him? The NFL, you get a nice little off period there after the draft, before all the training camps, mini camps, and stuff start. Even after the season ends, you got a gap before the start of the combine and stuff like that, to where he can do his trips that he takes and his fishing and taking his boat out and the vacations that we've seen him take. I don't know how much of a break there is in college football, because you're constantly recruiting. You're recruiting during the season. You're recruiting at the end of the season to keep your own players, plus bring people in for this early signing period. Then you've got National Signing Day, so you're still recruiting up and through February. And then after that, you've still got the transfer portal to worry about, and you're always recruiting your own guys and other guys to come into your program before the start of the season. It has become a 24/7 job. And that's the part where I wonder how Bill Belichick will take this, move it forward, and adapt to kind of the landscape of what college football is right now. Because we're listening to Mike McCarthy's press conference earlier during the Blitz at 5:00, and he was told about Belichick's and talked about being a college coach and stuff like that. And then he brought up how a lot of his college friends are trying to get to the NFL. Like, they want out because of the lack of downtime there is in a college football coach's world. You always kind of have to be on. You always have to be ready. You always have to be recruiting. You always have to be engaged. And there's no chance to kind of break away from what's going on in college football. And that feels very, very, very taxing. And I'm wondering what Bill Belichick will actually adapt to go through that. Because sure, you could treat players, it's an NFL program. We're going to bring you in. We're going to get you ready. If you want to leave, leave. We're building a program to get people to the pros. And along the way, you're going to make us better as we make you better and ready, more ready for the next level. Understand all of that. But man, it is brutal, brutal, brutal to think that you can be locked in 24/7, 365 like that. Because that's kind of what college coaching has come to. And it's going to be a very interesting, let's call it a science experiment with Bill Belichick and college football, especially at his age. This is Extra Innings with Pledger. I am James Pledger right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 941 FM, sasportstar.com. It's just, this news is so opposite of what we expected, because I fully believe that Bill Belichick wanted to chase down Don Shula's record, and also he wanted to make sure that he got a Super Bowl without Tom Brady. And I thought his North Carolina foray was that of trying to garner interest in the NFL when it didn't seem like there was a whole lot there. Like, oh, he may be considering this. And then when we heard that the deal wasn't finalized by Adam Schefter, they were still working through some things, I thought that was the loophole for him to get out of that and pursue the NFL more so, if that garnered interest. But no, this is a real thing. And it is going to be a very, very interesting science experiment when it's all said and done, to see how he works in college. Because you talk to some of his former players, they love him, but he is an authoritarian. And that's, with the way college football is currently structured, the players have all of the power. it feels like. And they can hop into that portal and use it as a weapon. And it's going to be very interesting to see how he adjusts to that when in the NFL, you had the franchise tag, you could tag them again before you send them on their way in free agency or even trade them to get something in return. This time they hit the portal, you get nothing in return. There's no way to supplement the losses that you can on an NFL roster in that way. Anyway, this is Extra Innings with Pledger. I am James Pledger right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 941 FM, sasportstar.com. When we come back, earlier this morning on the Morning Huddle, Rob and AJ, as they get ready, and they are headed right now for Army-Navy up there in D.C. Well, they were talking about some comments that Jerry made the other day on 105.3 The Fan and how the Cowboys should play out the rest of the season. We'll let you hear from that, and I'll let you know what I think. Plus, tickets to Mufasa, a early screening. Watch it before it drops, basically. Monday, December the 16th, out at the AMC River Center 11 at 7 o'clock. If you want to go, stay tuned. We're giving away those tickets coming up next right here on Extra Innings with Pledger on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Thursday on the Morning Huddle, coming to you live from Washington, D.C. Got a lot of football to talk about. And, oh, yeah, the NBA's playing, too.
And we're not just talking college. Week 15 gets underway tonight. Rams 49ers. We'll start talking about it at 6.
It's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. Morning 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's time to huddle up and listen close. For 2024, we pay tribute to a true game changer in the world of snacks, the unrivaled, the unbeatable, the pork rind. Yes, it's crunch time, and we're not just talking about the last few nail-biting minutes of the game. We're talking about a snack so audaciously crunchy, it puts those pretentious chips and pretzels to shame. So here's to you, Southern Recipe Pork Rinds, for being more than just a crunch. Southern Recipe Pork Rinds. It's crunch time. Find your rind at H-E-B. Imagine finding your dream home and moving in right away. No waiting to sell your old place first. Sounds perfect, right? Jason Minix here from 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. That's exactly what Orchard's Move First, Sell Later program lets you do. Buy your new home now, sell the old one later. Here's how it works. Orchard gives you cash so you can buy and move into your new home first. On your timeline, no waiting, no showings, no double moves. Then the Orchard experts take it from there. They handle repairs on your old home and make price-boosting upgrades at no upfront cost. Once they're done, a local Orchard agent lists and sells your home for top dollar. Orchard's Move First program gives you the freedom to buy and move into your new home first, sell your old home later. Buy before you sell and get top dollar for your home with Orchard. Ready to find out how much your home is worth? Visit Orchard.com to get your free home valuation. That's Orchard.com.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest, the last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying, just beautiful.
Whatever you love, find it on eBay. eBay. Things people love.
It's Extra Innings with Pledger on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Welcome back into Extra Innings with Pledger here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 sasportstar.com, and on YouTube at sasportstar. Go ahead. Like, subscribe, comment along. We've got tickets to go see Mufasa coming up here in just a couple of minutes. Drew Show on our last topic talking about Big Back Bill has the backer of an alumni. for North Carolina with a lot of deep pockets, many of them, not only just one guy, he'll be fine. Money talks in terms of being able to recruit and bring in players. And I have no doubt about that. As a matter of fact, Gary Myers talked about, or excuse me, Matt Hayes, college football writer for USA Today, said that North Carolina is increasing their NIL package from $4 million to $20 million in an effort to land Bill Belichick. So the amount of money they're going to spend is going to 5 times increase. So he's going to have the opportunity to be able to land and bring in whoever he wants. Jerry Jones does not. He has to work under the constraints of a salary cap. And in the salary cap world, you can't just go pay for and buy any player you want. You have to be strategic in how they do it. Well, it was very, very interesting. The Morning Huddle was talking about some of Jerry's comments and how the Cowboys, now that they have kind of not officially but unofficially been eliminated from playoff contention, how they will kind of get into the rest of the season as other teams, Giants, Raiders, most notably Jaguars, may not be trying to win as many football games week in and week out in order to preserve draft picks, et cetera, shutting down to Trevor Lawrence to get season-ending surgery on his shoulder that he potentially needed anyway, and just calling it early on players like that. Well, with the Cowboys now basically all but out of the playoff possibility, how would the Cowboys go about the rest of the season? It's very interesting. The Morning Huddle talking about what Jerry talked about on 105.3 The Fan.
Poor Jerry. Poor
Yeah.
Jerry. I bet he just can't wait to be done with this season, go get on his yacht and, I don't know, not have any worries for a little while. First off, they asked him, how did it feel did it feel like you can stop thinking about the playoffs? I believe the Cowboys should stop thinking about the playoffs altogether and start thinking about next year. But, it's not my job. But it's not my team, not my money. But Jerry, it is his team. It is his money. They asked him, did it feel like that loss against the Bengals ended your playoff hopes?
Well, I know that we needed to win the game to really have what I would call a really win out, get better chance to get in the playoffs. And then we had to have some things happen for us. That was a setback last night. That was a hard one. We'll have to circle the wagons here and get out here and get ready to play Carolina, who gave Kansas City all they wanted last week. So bottom line is that this is the life we've chosen.
Carolina actually played Philadelphia last week. Yes. But Sleepy Jerry he forgot that.
I appreciate what he said there at the end. This is the life we've chosen.
This is the life we've chosen. I'm going to play 2 clips here. First, they asked him about Trey Lance, and then he's got a follow up to this. So here's they first. Are we close to seeing Trey Lance out on the field?
Oh, I don't think so. I thought, for the most part, I thought we did some good things out there, and I still believe Tim gives us our best chance.
Okay.
Oh, how far we have come.
Now, first of all, I don't hate that because the reality is Trey Lance isn't going to be on this team next year anyway.
No.
And I don't want the Cowboys thinking that Trey Lance should be on this team next year. Like Trey Lance sucks.
Well, do you think, okay, the question is now begged. When did you know he sucked? At what point did you know that Trey Lance was never going to be any part of your team? Was it back in May when you told me he was getting better and better? Was it back in July where he legitimately, as training camp began, had a shot maybe of being the backup quarterback? Was it right after Dak got hurt? At what point did you go, well, everything I've been telling everybody was a lie? We know this guy sucks, so there's no way he's ever going to be a quarterback. Is that the honesty that we just got? Everything else
I don't
was
think we got that.
happenstance, and it was Wizard of Oz, and pay no attention to what's going on.
I think it's still going to be, well, we just think that Cooper Rush is a little bit better. It's the same thing they'll say about Dalvin Cook. Dalvin Cook was clearly that was a nothing signing.
Well, did they believe
and so
it?
all the people were like, what are we ever going to see Dalvin? And I told everybody, Dalvin Cook is washed.
Well, they didn't see, but at what point did they know that what they had been told was correct, that this guy isn't good enough? And at what point are they ever going to admit it? I mean, what I'm getting at is Jerry finally admitted, a year and a half later, that Trey Lance is never going to play. Because if he was ever going to play, now would be the time. I mean, it kind of would be if he was ever literally going to have any kind of prayer, even though the money that it would cost to keep him would be ridiculous. It would be against Carolina.
Yeah.
So did he realize that just this week? Or is he finally going, now that we can pull the curtain back, this fiasco is done, and hell no, he's never going to play. He was never going to play.
I mean, I wish they would say that. They won't say that, though. I mean, that would be refreshing to me if they just came out and said, he's just not that good.
He's not that good, and he was never going to play, but we had to say that for a variety of reasons, strategically and, for the rest of the league. But no, this guy's terrible. There's a reason why San Francisco traded him, and I don't know why I gave him a 4th-round pick for it. I got hoodwinked.
Yeah, he's just no good. So they followed that up with, well, if we're not going to the playoffs, then why not run Trey Lance out there? So I like this answer. Well, no, I say I like this answer. I like it as a discussion point. Not I like that he said this.
Wins are important for us. Very important for us. This is a young team. Cooper, we think, gives us our best chance. We'll want to look at everything about last night and make sure the tail of the tape, so to speak, keeps us in the same mode. But it's very important to go down here and beat Carolina for this team next year. And we've got a lot of young players out here that we want to get that experience. And so you have to consider that when you consider if you will, evaluating at such a critical position, the quarterback we're both talking about.
Wins are important for next year. I don't understand why wins are important for next year. I know you've got a young team. You also have a team that is short on talent. To me, now, losses are important for next year. Losses are important to get better.
Having sat through the Spurs go through a rebuild, I learned about 5 years ago, pay absolutely no attention to what they say. Only pay attention to what they do. Because nobody's going to say we're tanking.
The difference is the Spurs are they're like a cloak and dagger organization.
You're right.
Jerry's like I want everything I do to be public, and I want you to see it.
But
and
Jerry
talk about
still needs to sell tickets. Let's just see what shows up on the field.
Dude,
I'm just saying.
People showed up. People were at the Giants-Saints game.
I agree.
The Cowboys fans are gonna show up.
Well, maybe. But I mean, he can't just say, well, all hope is lost. Wins don't matter. Of course he's going to say that, because he's got players on his team that tape does matter. I mean, McCarthy has to take that into account. There's guys that need to be put into situations where they can be successful so that they can continue their pro career, regardless of whether it's with the Cowboys or someplace else. There's a job to be done. So I do want these guys to believe that, I'm going out there to play hard. But the fact of the matter is, Jerry, very quietly in his heart of hearts, he doesn't want to win a game.
I don't know if
say that.
I don't know if you think the same way Jerry thinks.
Well, I refuse to believe that a guy, even though you can be led astray and have a bunch of yes men around you and live in a bubble, that he doesn't look around and go, this was an abject failure, a collapse, and everything that I did was wrong, whether I was misled or I just didn't trust my instincts. but I can't ever admit it. But we got to start fixing this crap. And that might be, well, wins matter, but I got to figure out if this third string tackle is worth the time. I hope that's where we are, because the Spurs never said they were going to tank. But what Pop would do was, with 2 minutes to go in the game, if it was close, there's nothing wrong that Nando DiColo can't fix. We could find a guy to blow the game, whether everybody else out there ain't trying or not. This guy's going to screw it up. So I do think you can coach your way into a loss while appearing to really try to win. And I would like to think that's kind of where Jerry is.
I'm not saying that would be a bad plan. In fact, it's probably the right way to go about it. But I think there is something to Jerry from an ego standpoint where he wants to be a winner still.
And best case scenario, even if you won out, you're still a loser. You're still a loser by the definition of you didn't win as many as you lost.
I'm aware of that, and you're aware of that.
I just don't. I cannot believe that a dude that managed to make billions doesn't see that.
Like, there's something to if we go 7-10, 8-9, that's not humiliating. Whereas if we go 5-12, you're a loser.
And I appreciate that mindset. I do. I hope he does think that way.
But on draft day, 5-12 is way better than 8-9. Way better. And it helps you because this team is not it's not talented enough. It's not talented enough, especially now, to overcome what you're paying Dak Prescott. Like the only way the Cowboys can improve their roster now, the only way is to hit in the draft consistently.
Mm-hmm.
Because now your salary cap is tied to one guy. And it is, so you have to have massive draft success.
So don't you think he knows that? Don't you think that, again, I can't imagine. Now, it's not a lie if you believe it. There's that fact. And then there is, hey, I'm Barnum Bailey. I'm P.T. Barnum. I got to keep this circus going regardless.
Yeah.
So I do think, but I can't imagine that dude didn't wake up on Monday morning going, well, it's all over now. If it wasn't before, it is definitely done now. I've been here before. And what I did before didn't work. So let's try whatever this is just to see if we can get there. But I got to keep the plate spinning, man. I got to sell tickets.
Yeah.
I got to keep people buying jerseys.
I believe that Jerry, I think what you said first, it's not a lie if you believe it. And I think that's where he's at. Man. They did ask Jerry about what they're evaluating for the rest of the season.
Well, first of all, let me be real clear. It's obvious our quarterback for the future is Dak Prescott. So we don't have to have guesswork about who's going to be our quarterback, number one. And so, number two, we will particularly be looking and have the opportunity to continue to look at these offensive linemen, get those snaps, get those reps. That's a big deal. And that should pay off for us as we go forward, because we've got about 3, possibly 4 young players that will really benefit from it. We've got a couple of young receivers that you'd like to see have the opportunity to get some more attempts and get some more catches. Those are the kinds of things you'd look at. Over on defense, certainly was good to get our secondary back. First time we've had them all back there all year, and they played really well. That was a real test against that quarterback last night.
It doesn't sound like get guys some more snaps, but you're also you've rotated through so many offensive linemen and with injuries and cornerbacks with injuries. You know who can play and who can't. There's no new people on this team that you could be evaluating.
And with that offensive line, which, by the way, I'll say over the last 2 weeks, granted, bad football teams and, weak defensive lines and internal 7, but they have run the ball, even against the worst. But when I hear him say that, we got to see this offensive line do something, get them reps. You're also telling me you're getting Cooper Rush killed.
You're right.
Well,
but he also just said, who cares? Dak's our quarterback.
Right. So and Cooper Rush is like, well, why don't we play some Trey Lance, man? I'd like to play someplace else next year, too. I'm watching DeMarvion Overshown miss all of next year.
If he dies, he dies.
If he dies, that's exactly how it feels. Get out there, Cooper. You might want to wear one of those big old slee stack helmets because we're running third string left guard tonight.
Yeah, I mean, he's done his job. He's taken one for the team. That's all. He's there to test out our new offensive line.
Yeah, a statue back there.
Yeah,
for your life.
Imagine that'll work out well for Cooper long term. Finally, they asked him if what kind of input the players have on the coaching decision, because a lot of the question was, is Dak going to have any say on who's the head coach next year?
Let's put it like this: anytime you're looking at who's coaching them this day and time, if you've got key players, you look at the situation that gives them the best chance. Them being the players that you got under contract, that gives them the best chance to be everything they can be. The coach that complements them the most, the system, the approach. We've seen this year an adjustment to a change in coaching with the switch to Mike Zimmer. And you saw firsthand that takes some time. There's some growing pains with moving into a different coaching mindset. And that's what you get into when you move those coaches around. And you've got these key players this day and time under contract. You better mail it up.
Better what?
I didn't hear better what?
Nail it up?
Nail it up. Maybe that's what he said. Better nail it up. But at least what he's saying, the gist of what he's saying is, yeah, you'd be silly not to take into account what's going to give your players the best opportunity to succeed.
When he says things like that, you're kind of like, well, that's a lucid thing to say.
That's something that feels like Jerry 10 years ago would have said, absolutely, I'm the boss of this team. They work for me. They play for me. That is something that I really don't think Jerry would have said years ago.
I will agree with that. Yeah.
So maybe there's growth. I don't know if you call that growth. Maybe there's growth.
Listen, there's a lot of things that Jerry said that I agree with. Rob mentioned the Spurs, and they were criticizing Jerry's, I want to win, and winning being detrimental in the NFL when it comes to the draft pick. Look, when you're drafting 10, 12, 14, there's not a huge difference of player that you're going to get in that area. It's not like the difference between picking 1 and 32. You're picking from kind of the same group of players. So I don't think winning or trying to win is necessarily as bad a thing as it's being made out to be, because it's not like you're getting the number 1 pick, and it's not like you need a quarterback anyway. You've got Dak for 5 years. And I think wins are important, because he talked about the youth of this team and getting those players like Cooper Beebe and Tyler Guyton more reps as the season goes on, and Jonathan Mingo, who they traded for and invested heavily in, and getting him more reps as this season progresses, Ryan Flournoy, et cetera, just young players getting more reps and live game action that can help in their development and growth going into next year. And maybe you win a couple of games, and it helps to kickstart this team into next year when it is fully healthy and you've got all those things. And we saw firsthand with the Spurs right here. When you are efforting to lose games consecutively for a year, 2 years, 3 years, however long the rebuild process may end up taking, it has an effect on the team, and you have to fight your way out of that culture of losing and mistakes late in games and different things that cost you wins. And in the NFL, the margins are so much slimmer, and most of these games are decided by a point, a field goal, a touchdown, a single score, a blocked punt that was touched by your own player that gives the team, the Bengals, back the ball. Like, these are the margins for error in the NFL. So I do think that playing to win, playing as if it matters, playing these guys that they've invested in late in the season, getting them the opportunity, I think it is going to bode well for the team as it moves forward. Now, Will you see the immediate dividends? Probably not. As a matter of fact, I have questions when I hear Micah Parsons talking about Overshown's injury.
It's devastating that we have to go through this. Man, it's hard. And it's hard to even say, how can I keep everyone together through these hard times? Like, I know we got to come together, but it's like, it is demoralizing because not only do you lose close games, but you lose another amazing attribute, piece to your unit that you rely on, that you want to look forward to. And it just hurts, man. It hurts.
And you hear him say stuff like that. He talks about, what to do next as a leader. What's the next move? And you hear it in his voice. There was a lot made of the team's reaction to Trayvon Diggs' injury leading into the Arizona game, which is why they laid an egg in that game. Carolina is a 3-point favorite at home currently right now, according to ESPN Bet. Could the loss, the way they lost, the mood of the team afterwards, and then the compilation of Overshown's injury, and we've heard how much he permeates throughout that team from players, coaches, everybody this week since the injury. Could the Cowboys be primed for a letdown when they face Carolina just because of everything that's happened and everybody feeling like everything's stacked against them and the injuries? Now this devastating injury, along with the way that they lost on Monday night, can this team rally itself back and get up for a game in Carolina in what feels like a lost season? It's going to be very interesting to see how this plays out. I'm going to be very, very, very heavily engaged in how this goes as we get closer and closer to having to make our picks for this week on Prime Picks and also on our Pro Football Pick'em, which you can catch on sasportstar.com. Win yourself a $25 gift card, weekly winners to the Mellow Mushroom, season-long winners. Of course, you've got playing for that awesome ticket giveaway. So be sure to sign up, pick along with us out at sasportstar.com and the Pro Football Pick'em, brought to you by awesome tickets. This is Extra Innings with Pledger. I am James Pledger. I said it. We got tickets to give away. We're giving them away right now. Mufasa is coming to theaters. Got a chance for you to watch an advanced screening of it on Monday, December 16th, this coming Monday, 7 o'clock out at AMC River Center. If you want to go, be caller number 5 right now at 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. You got your tickets to go see Mufasa Family 4-pack and the latest chapter of The Lion King coming to the screen. Coming up next, though, is it time? We keep talking about Trey Lance. Is it time to go to him? Is it time for the Horns to make a switch to Quinn Ewers? Well, Bob Ballou and Joe Reinagle got into it today on the Blitz. We'll bring that to you next, coming up here on Extra Innings with Pledger on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Don't let pain hold you back from living your best life. I'm Dr. Jason Garrett with Arasti. At Arasti, we're dedicated to providing fast, effective relief from pain. Whether you've been dealing with a chronic discomfort for years or have recently suffered an injury, our goal is to help you recover quickly. Our treatment is all natural, non-invasive, and covered by most insurance plans. With convenient locations nearby, relief is just a call away. Visit Arasti.com. That's AIRROSTI.com. Arasti, we fix pain fast.
It's football time at BetMGM. Use code KOSTOS, KOSTOS, and receive up to $1,500 back in bonus bets if you don't win your first bet. When you register with BetMGM, you'll get instant access to a variety of parlay selection features, live betting options, original bets, and the best daily promotions in the business. Use code KOSTOS, KOSTOS, and get up to $1,500 back in bonus bets if you don't win your first bet. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 years of age or older. New customer offer. This U.S. promotional offer not available in Mississippi, New York, Nevada, Ontario, or Puerto Rico. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Available in the U.S. For New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. For Arizona, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP. For Massachusetts, call 1-800-327-5050. For Iowa, call 1-800-BETS-OFF. For Puerto Rico, call 1-800-981-0023. Subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards are non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire in 7 days in partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel.
Pro Paint Days are back at Lowe's, and that means limited time savings on the paint pros need. Right now, save $15 on 5-gallon pails of HGTV Home by Sherwin-Williams All-Purpose Power Primer. Plus, get it delivered to your job site with free same-day delivery when you order by 2 p.m. Visit us in-store or online today, because Lowe's knows paint. Lowe's knows pros. Valid through 12/20. Delivery by 8 p.m. Subject to driver availability. Additional terms apply. See Lowe's.com/same-day delivery for details.
George gets justice. At George Salinas Injury Lawyers, they don't just represent you. They fight for you. When life throws its toughest challenges, George and his team are there to get you the justice you deserve. And here's their promise. You don't pay unless they win your case. With a proven track record of success, they take every case personally. Call George Salinas Injury Lawyers today at 210-225-0909 or visit getgeorge.com. George gets justice. GetGeorge.com.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks Vapor Stick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks vapors in an easy-to-apply stick, and it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks Vapo Stick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And when you need more comfort for yourself, try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks Vapors.
Use as directed. Vapo Stick for use ages 4 and up. Vapo Shower Max use for adults.
The holidays are happening at Diamonds Direct. Still rushing to finish your holiday shopping? Don't worry, we've got you covered. This weekend only, it's our last chance sale with 20% off virtually everything. Earrings, bracelets, pendants, and more. Plus special financing options up to 5 years. But don't wait. This is your final opportunity to find the perfect gift at the best value before the holidays. Plus special designer appearances. Visit us during extended holiday hours or shop online and pick up in store. Our 20% off last chance sale ends Sunday. Learn more at diamondsdirect.com.
This is Jim Rome. Join me weekdays at noon, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Welcome back into Extra Innings with Pleasure here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I am James Pleasure. Thank you for joining me. You can always follow me on Instagram, TikTok, IG, Twitter, at I am Pleasure. Follow the station at SA Sports Star. Thank you for riding along with me. And for riding along with me, I've got a pair of tickets to go see Eclipse as a Journey tribute. They are coming May 20th in 2025 to the Aztec Theater. If you want to go, be caller number 6 right now at 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. Tickets go on sale Friday at 10 at livenation.com, or, just win them before you can buy them right now. Caller number 6, 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. It has been loud and getting louder, and even I'm starting to sway towards maybe it's time to pull the hook on Quinn Ewers and give Arch Manning his shot. Well, Bob Ballou of KI Television in Austin, our Austin Embed Longhorns reporter, well, he joined the Blitz earlier today, and him and Joe Ryan-Eagle, they had quite the discussion about this.
Might want to get your popcorn ready for this one. Bob Ballou from KI Television in Austin, our Longhorn insider, joining us here on the Buyers Barricades guest line. And I think I'm just going to kick back and hear you guys argue. Did you see the video that Ryan Eagle had on our Instagram page on, Monday?
No.
Where he was calling for the, thanks, Bob, for following, follow at SA Sports Star. It's time to bench Quinn Ewers and go to Arch Manning for the playoffs. All right, you two go. Yeah, I got my popcorn.
You agree with me, don't you, Bob?
100% it's going to happen. Sark has proven and shown that that's who he is, and he's going to bench the guy that just threw for 360 yards
and gave the ball away 3 times again.
just telling you. Well, we can dispute the first interception was 100% on Isaiah Bond. But again, we don't that's not what it looks like on the stat sheet. That's not what we're going to look at. The second throw with 3 minutes to go was atrocious. He had another one in the first half that should have been picked. So again, as I've said all year, not here just to blindly defend Quinn Ewers. But I do think there is I think there's an in-between here that at least I wish Texas fans could recognize, which is I think Quinn looked much better against Texas A&M and really good against Georgia compared to what he was really the 3 or 4 in 5 games in the middle of the year. And I think personally, I think that probably has a little bit to do with his oblique, and he probably feels more comfortable with that now. His ankle obviously wasn't as much of an issue as what maybe people thought it was going to be. Whatever device he has on is working. I thought he looked much more like himself against A&M and against Georgia. Now, let me add on to that by saying Quinn Ewers did not commit 11 penalties for 100 yards. Quinn Ewers did not miss 2 field goals. Quinn Ewers did not drop 3 or 4 passes, one of which should have been a touchdown. There's a lot of blame to go around, but the flip side of that is, yes, there are 2 or 3 plays a game that you're going to have to live with. There are a lot of quarterbacks that are like that, but in general, there are 2 or 3 plays you're going to have to live with. But the other side of that is, I also think now that Sark has seen, when I put Arch in for a play or 2 here or there, against A&M, the first one was a touchdown, and after that, it didn't really work. Against Georgia, he comes in, he gets under center, they snap it to Jaden Blue, he runs to the right side for first down. First play of overtime, he runs for 5 yards. I think there is and it's not going to be to this extent, but there is a Chris Leak, Tim Tebow dynamic that could work a little more for Texas there. And whether or not Sark's going to do that, I don't know. Part of me wonders if he's saving it up. Part of me wonders kind of what his plan will be on that front, especially because of the red zone issues. So I think there's an in-between here of Quinn is terrible and he never needs to play versus if you throw a freshman in the game right now, you don't know. Maybe he is the best player in the country, but maybe he's the player we saw against Mississippi State that threw 2 interceptions. And, I just think it's hard to have level conversations about some of this stuff. And I get it. It's not, again, like I've said from the beginning, I understand why Texas fans want to see Arch Manning. That's never been an issue. I just think you've got the guy back there that's 19-4 in his last 23 that again looked good against A&M, looked good against Georgia, and there's not a real reason. I mean, Sark's obviously not going to bench him. So it's just a matter of what is their next step as an offense to make this stuff click again. Again, I don't know the answer. Because I think Texas had a lot of success running the ball against Kentucky and Texas A&M. I think Quintravian Wisener is going to have a really big game against Clemson on that same front. I think they're going to try to run the ball against them and rely on the defense. But again, you're what, 1-2 plays away from beating Georgia in the SEC championship. You can't just throw all caution to the wind. We're getting rid of Quinn. Let's put Arch in. That's my view.
Okay. Well, that's a great view, Bob, and I'll let you have it. That's fantastic. First of all, I really, this argument about, we put Arch in and he couldn't do anything. There's a much different dynamic when you're talking about a guy starting a game versus sticking him in, and everybody on the planet knows he's not going to throw the football. He's going to run with it. I mean, that's what Sark's doing with this kid. He's doing nothing else with him except running the football.
Which I do think, and I do think in the playoff at some point you'll see Arch throw it. I mean, obviously you're setting that up. That's obviously you're designing this for that. Is my take. Maybe I'm wrong, but I just think he obviously knows he can throw the ball. At some point, he's going to throw the ball.
Well, I mean, I would hope so. I mean, Sark's play calling, it leaves a lot to be desired as well.
Yeah.
And then I look at the first half of the Georgia game, the SEC championship game. Texas dominates that thing in the first half. And they end up with 6 points. 6 points. I know Georgia's a good football team. They've got a good defense. But Quinn's not getting it done. And then you talk about the field goals. How about you score touchdowns there instead of kicking field goals and leaving it on the foot of a kid who obviously has gone ice cold. I just see a lot of dynamic there. And unless Quinn's got pictures of Sark with a goat or something, I don't know what it is. And he's just so loyal to that guy. It's incredible. But I just think this team needs a spark offensively.
And that's where I'll agree with Joe. And you can catch that full interview at sasportstar.com. It was fantastic in the audio vault powered by AA Best Bail Bonds. And man, that's where I agree with Joe is not the pictures of the GOAT thing, but just, sure, there were points left on the field because the kicker missed kicks, but there was a drop touchdown. Sure. But he also threw a poor interception. Could Isaiah Bond have made a better effort on that interception? Sure. He also threw an egregious one that wasn't intercepted and dropped. I mean, they're score touchdowns, not field goals. I'm dealing with this with the Houston Texans, in which it has been a struggle in the red zone consistently. And you just want the team to finish drives, to stop leaving things on the foot of a kicker at the end of games or even in the beginning of games because you're terrified of a sack or losing yards or giving away those three points because your kicker's so good. And even then, Brett Auburn's not good. So why are you even relying? You should be more focused on trying to get the ball into the end zone. That's me. This is Extra Innings with Pledge. I am James Pledger right here on San Antonio Sports Star. We'll put a ball on the show and get you ready for the Cowboys Crosstalk coming up next right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM and sasportstar.com.
An accident or injury can derail your life in an instant, leaving you struggling to pay for medical bills and daily expenses. At Thomas J. Henry, we believe every Texan deserves justice, no matter their financial situation. That's why we offer our no-win, no-fee promise. You don't pay us unless we win your case. We know how difficult recovering from an accident can be. Let us handle your case while you focus on getting better. Thomas J. Henry, the name you know, the firm you trust. San Antonio, Texas.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9047. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9047. That's 800-575-9047. Tax Relief Advocates, real solutions for real people.
Hey there, you in aisle 2. I see you by the fiber and laxatives. You still using those to manage your constipation with belly pain? If your symptoms keep coming back, you may have irritable bowel syndrome with constipation, or IBS-C. So you may need more than over-the-counter treatments to manage it. Ask your doctor about how Linzess can help you get ahead of it.
Linzess linaclotide is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. It's not a laxative. It's a once-daily pill that helps you get ahead of your symptoms. It's proven to help you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually. Do not give Linzess to children less than 2. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS.
Unwrap the savings during the JCPenney Mystery Sale. This Thursday to Sunday, hurry in store for a gold coupon giveaway while they last. You could win an extra 30, 40, or even 50% off. Or get extra lucky and hit the jackpot deal. You'll win $60 off your entire purchase when you spend $60 or more. JCPenney, make it count. Coupon valid on select styles 12/12 to 12/15. Exclusions apply. Must be 18 or older. See store associate for details.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program will only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it ends your debt nightmare and saves you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. Debt Relief Advocates has established a relief hotline for you to call to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, so don't wait. For this free information, call the Relief Hotline at 800-707-6152. 800-707-6152. 800-707-6152.
The big holiday beauty sale at Ulta Beauty is happening now. Get the best gifts up to 50% off, including can't-miss deals on Urban Decay palettes, luxurious YSL and Armani fragrances, and the fabulous Shark Dryer and Styler. But that's not all. New deals drop every week. So whether you're treating yourself or finding the perfect gifts for your crew, head to an Ulta Beauty store today. Get all the best gifts, all at Ulta Beauty.
Thanks to Total Wine, you saved more on all the gifts for the ones you adore. Wine, spirits, beers, all nestled on shelf.
Curbside pickup and delivery available, and the lowest prices for over 30 years only at Total Wine & More.
Drink responsibly. B21.
Let's get wild.
Welcome back into Extra Innings with Pleasure here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, sasportstar.com. Appreciate y'all riding along with me tonight. The Bill Belichick thing continues to just be confounding in a way. Most recently, boards come out with a statement. It is official. He is being hired. It was reported a 3-year, $30 million deal. I don't know about the financials, if it's still $10 million a year, but it is a 5-year deal, according to North Carolina Board of Regents in their press release. So Bill Belichick, 5 years in Chapel Hill, turning that program, or at least taking it over. And it's funny, they go from the oldest head coach in college football at Mac Brown at 73 to the oldest head coach in college football and Bill Belichick at 72. Like I said, running it like an NFL program, how that is going to happen remains to be seen, but I'm intrigued by how this could potentially look once Bill Belichick gets his hooks into it. And I also hear that they are also hiring Mike Lombardi as the GM, longtime former Patriots GM, buddy of Belichick, going along for the ride at North Carolina. This has been Extra Innings with Pleasure. I am James Pleasure. We'll see you right back here tomorrow on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Be sure to check on your friends. Make sure, shoot them a text, whatever. Let them know you're thinking about them. You never know what could do. You never know what somebody's going through in life. Till then, we'll see you tomorrow here on San Antonio Sports Star.
94.1 FM, San Antonio Sports Star.
Hey, this is Rob Thompson here from my friends over at Prize Picks. It's Pixmas time, my friends, and Pixmas means one thing to me, and that's 200 times my money. Yes, for a shot to win